Boys, we are back. Welcome to another episode of Squad Talk FPL. Already, I'm told, the FBI's most suspicious sports podcast on the internet, and we are not stopping there. I'm your host, Nick Boon Squad. Very glad to have you with us. If you are new to the pod, I just want to make sure that you are following wherever you're listening, whether that's on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or if you're watching me here on YouTube as well. And if you're new to FPL, welcome. As Oprah Winfrey said herself, the best time to add Erling Haaland to your squad was 20 years ago, but the second best time is right the hell now. Today's episode, as always, we're going to start with our Win the Week segment, followed by a look back at the week that was and a jump into the week that will be. I had my draft. I mean, we've got FPL Classic, and then we've got FPL Draft. So we had the draft for the Draft League, as well as the first week of that league this past week as well. So lots to go over. Very excited, and let's just jump into it. So here at Squad Talk FPL, we are all about winning the week. So I always like to start my episodes with a quick rundown of just how life's going, how my week went. It's always important to be checking in, and I'd say it was a pretty good week. In a lot of ways, I feel like it was just a week. Not a whole lot happened. Work was just kind of work. No super crazy stories, thankfully, to report. Still haven't had anyone get sick in my car, so I'm more than happy to report that I'm a full-time Lyft driver in the Boston area. If you're new to the show here, stayed around Western Mass, more close to home for me yesterday, so that was good that I was able to make a little money doing that. I'm trying to work as many days as I can while still getting to bed at a decent time. And so Mondays usually I've taken off. I ended up taking Sunday off just because I got home wicked late on Saturday. I was just dead tired. I was like, you know what? Forget this. Let's just make Sunday the day. And I'm going to try to do a 7-day week this week. I know that's crazy, but as long as they're not super long days, as long as I'm still getting to bed at a good time, I feel good about that. Been going out, going to the bar, getting some drinks, which has been good. Monday night and last night, both nights, I made a stop at two different bars, one each night. I'm not a fucking fiend out here, just to catch the Red Sox games and try to interact with other human beings without them sitting in the backseat of my car. You know what I mean? If you ever, I will say this, come to Boston. I love it here. Phenomenal. So many things to do. But if you really want to get the experience, come to Boston, schedule enough time for yourself so that you can get outside of the city. Maybe get out to like Framingham or something, or I don't even know, Andover, you know what I mean? If you're more on the North Shore, something like that, just get out of the city a bit and like go to a 99 restaurant on the night that the Red Sox are playing. Like, you want to find the right balance of like, you don't want to go to like too towny of a sports bar because you're just going to walk in and everyone's just going to look at you and you're just going to turn around. But you also don't want to go to like the trendy, unless that's what you're looking for. But if you want the true New England experience, just go to a 99 on the night, any night that the Sox are playing, and just look around. You know what I mean? Just get the horseshoe ale, just, and chat up the bartender a little bit if you want, but just look around, just watch, just observe. That's going to be, because like when I've been to London twice, I've been lucky enough, I've been to London twice, Dublin once, and I swear to God, one of my like favorite parts of being in London was just walking around the neighborhood, hopping into a Tesco. Now, if you're American, Tesco is their like big supermarket chain, and just walking up and down the aisles. Because like anyone can go to the British Museum, anyone can go to like a football match, whatever. There's all the touristy things that you can do. I love the little slice of life. Like, this is what it's like so just going into a Tesco, walking up and down the aisles. They probably thought I was a lunatic. I don't know. The thought that I can just blend in with people in a completely foreign country is exciting to me. Like the second trip that I took, flying into Gatwick on a Wednesday morning and just taking the Thameslink train up into London just with my backpack. It was a very short trip, so I just got a little backpack. I'm just sitting there. All the commuters, and I'm just like, they think I'm one of them. I don't, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just a Londoner right now. Don't have to open my mouth, nothing. I just thought it was the coolest thing. So anyway, going to Tesco, checking everything out and finding a box of what I would call Frosted Flakes, Tony the Tiger on the front and everything, but it just said Frosties. Like, the brand name of the cereal was just Frosties, and I fucking lost. I was like, what the hell is happening? Like, I just thought, I was like, oh my God, they're Frosties here. Like, I don't know how to explain it. It was the coolest thing. I loved it. So, a little slice of life, yeah. Go to a 99 when the Sox are playing and just observe, see what you see. So yeah, good week. Guys, good week for the Boon Squad too, man. I have to tell you, you go on FPL Twitter and a lot of people are struggling right now. Like it's the depth of hell for some people. It's a tough season. It's a tough start. Where I know we're only 2 game weeks in, but like a lot of people are really have a lot to cope with right now. And so the fact that I have had a 60-point game week one followed by a fucking 65 both weeks. 65-point game week one, 65-point game week two. Guys, consistency is key. Slow and steady wins the race. I am him. Um, it was a great week, I have to tell you. So similar story again, being at Logan Airport on Friday, and I'm listening to West Ham Chelsea. I was a good boy this week, and I had my earpiece in, so I just got the radio playing. I'm listening to the game on my phone on my little earbud there, and dude, I had to contain myself. I was dropping off these two ladies at the terminal right as Paquetá scored, and we had been chatting a bit, so like it wasn't like I was just some silent drive. Like there was some, you know what I mean. But he scores, and I'm just like, oh, let's go, and like that, like that's all I could contain it to, and I had to be like, sorry, I'm listening to a soccer game, like I can't explain. But as soon as they got out of the car, I fucking like, let's go, like I lost it, man. And then Diouf got the assist. I was like, holy shit. Like, we're on top of the world. My team is leading against Chelsea. My fucking dog water ass midfield asset just scored what sounded like a banger. I watched the highlights later. I was like, this is okay. It's a long distance goal. It wasn't fucking like midfield or anything. I was like, oh my God. Like, we are there. This is it. West Ham, we're so back. And then we shipped 5 fucking goals to Chelsea. So, like, it was a tough one. The high of that did just about cancel the low of like everything else that game was. So like it's tough for my Hammers, and like the fact that things are looking as bad as they are. I think I said last week that Paquetá was the one on my chopping block. He still is high up on that list. I am going to keep him going into game week 3. We'll see, especially they're playing Nottingham Forest, the whole Nuno nonsense, and whatever happens there will make for an interesting story. So I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know how it's going to go. But I'm excited that he's there, and I'm like, you can't. Not that I think he's in danger of it, but you can't bench him after a game like that from a West Ham performance. Sorry, not even from an FPL. I'm like, Graham Potter, may he continue to reign, please, or something. You can't. You have to keep playing Paquetá. Whatever happens. So that was exciting. The craziest part of it all to me was the fact that he is on a team that loses 5-1 to Chelsea and still gets 2 bonus points. I don't know how that happened. I have no idea how Lucas Paquetá is a 2 bonus point Andy on a week that Chelsea walloped West Ham. Yeah, Joao Pedro leads the BPS points with 58. Paquetá second with 39, and then Caicedo with 36. I can't explain it. I don't know. I don't know what he did the rest of the game. I don't know how that happened. He did 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, I thought he might have come close on defensive contributions, but it doesn't look like he scored in that regard. Is there even a way to see that on this? Okay, DC. 11, so he was 1 short of the 12 you need for a midfielder. So huge differential hit again, 1.1% team selected by percentage at the moment. I doubt that's gone up since the weekend. It looks like his net transfers are something to the tune of 28,000 out. So that was probably the highlight of the week if it wasn't for Jordan fucking Pickford. I promise you that's his middle name. 90 minutes played for 2 points, a clean sheet for 4 points, 4 saves for 1 point, and a fucking penalty save for 5 points. Guys, I slept in on Sunday again because Saturday was just wicked late night. And so I was like, I don't even think, I have Peacock, I don't have cable, so it's like I can't, this wasn't a game that I was going to be able to watch live anyway. So I put on the highlights, just went into it raw, not knowing what had happened, what this was going to be. And like, obviously, Everton conceded a penalty game week 1, so like let's try to stem this trend a little bit. That's really not the type of recurring event that I want to see out of my defensive assets. Dude, when Pickford, and it was a bad penalty. Like, God bless Danny Welbeck for thinking he can still do it, but like it was a bad penalty. I probably woke somebody again. It was like 11 a.m. on a Sunday, but like I was rip roaring, just like let's go. I was so hyped for that. So that was huge. Tarkovsky along with him, an 8-pointer, getting the DEFCONs as well as the clean sheet. So that's super exciting. So overall, those are my top performers there. Paquetá and Pickford, with Tarkovsky in there as well. So again, 65 points total. It was 15 from Pickford, just the 3 from Diouf. He did get that assist, but conceding 5 goals will eat into that. Listen, you got to hold on to him. I don't know. He's still doing his thing. I can't drop him at this point. It's tough, but you got to do what you got to do. Tarkovsky with Everton, again, the 8-pointer. Bournemouth Senesi, 9 points, clean sheet, a bonus point, and the DEFCONs. Love to see that. It's going to be a tough fixture going in next week against Tottenham, especially at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. But I was messaging Johnny, my other the sole other member of the Squad Talk FPL League at this moment. Make sure you join that, by the way. The code is 07HAXP. Make sure you see that, 07HAXP. But talking to Johnny before the season, it felt like because he was like, wow, you're really kind of going off the template here. And I'm like, I feel like I'm going for all the people who the big creators, players are saying like, oh, I'm taking this other person, but so and so looks good, like Sinest. You know what I mean? Again, I just listened to the 59th minute episode earlier today. I'm recording this just around noontime Eastern time here on Tuesday, August 26th. And he's talking about how like Tarkovsky's still massively underrated. I have him, started the season with him. Senesi, he's saying someone that he's looking at. I brought him in, game week 2. Evan Ilson is someone people are talking about. I was like, no, he's not returned yet, but like the eye test looks good. He should return soon. So things like I've got the people that everyone wants. Holland I started the season with, and now everyone's scrambling to figure out how to get him. So listen, not to toot my own horn, but like it's a good horn to toot. You know what I mean? So Senesi with 9. Pedro Porro defensively getting a 5-point haul, 6 with the clean sheet, -1 for a yellow. It's interesting. Spurs going 2 games already without conceding a single goal. One of those games being against Man City. Like this Spurs team might be something else. So again, you would always think he should be getting involved in terms of like creating goals. They got this ICT, what they call it. It's not even that these numbers mean anything, but influence, creativity, and threat. His creativity numbers are decent. I don't even have anything to compare them to, so this doesn't mean much. But 42.8 against Burnley, 33.4 against Man City. So whatever. It's he's being creative. Or why don't we look at his expected assists? That probably means a little bit more. 0.13 against City, a 0.26 against Burnley. So he's in there. He's involved. I'm happy to keep him. I'm happy that I went with him again. He was a late add ahead of game week 1. So that's good. And listen, 4 at the back is working out so far. So happy with those performances. Not a whole lot to say in midfield. Again, Paquetá, the GOAT, but other than that, a cheeky 5-pointer from Salah. Again, that assist right at the end. Crazy goal. The teenager, I don't even know his name yet. Can't remember, but Liverpool, and I could see it happen again against Arsenal, to be perfectly honest. Like going up 2-0, finding a way to score. Arsenal's going to come out strong and they're going to look best early in the game. Liverpool's going to find a way to score 2 goals. Arsenal is going to level it at 2-2. And like Mo Salah is just going to score a banger right at the end. You know what I mean? Like that seems to be the Liverpool game plan for this season. It is going to be an interesting game between those two this weekend. Kudus, 3 points, just the 1 extra for a clean sheet, so more or less a blank. Bruno Fernandes did ultimately blank with that missed penalty. I still haven't watched it. I've heard plenty about it on Twitter. I don't need to see it. I don't want to see it. I don't want to think about it. You kind of just have to keep Bruno right now. I don't have any plans to sell him. Everyone, he's going up against Burnley next week. How can you know what I mean? So it's a tough one. You would hope. Again, Burnley, they just kept a clean sheet, but they did that against Sunderland. So like, what does that really mean? So just kind of hoping that Bruno turns up. Captaincy blank for Erling Haaland up front. Just the 90 minutes again, losing to Spurs, surprise result there, and then Evan Ilson 2 points as well. So we're hoping the Bournemouth attack, is attacking. It do. But you hope for a little more for sure. And then on the bench, Dubravka 6-pointer, feel good about that. I don't really know where his transfer numbers are at. So let's see, a net transfer over 100,000 in so far. So that's good ahead of game week 3. Would love to see a price rise on him just to have that in the bank. And then Mark Guiu, Lewis Miley, and then Tuan Zebe, all occupying bench spots as well. So that brings me up to an overall rank of 688,267th worldwide. Guys, I am stoked. It's a great start to the season. Again, no chips played yet. We'll see how that all goes. Again, I'm not super keen on playing anything yet. I don't really feel like I have a strong triple captain option. I definitely don't have the bench for any sort of bench boost or anything like that. And no real worries about like free hitting wild carding at the moment. I obviously want to make sure the whole first half of the season doesn't go by without me using those chips at all. But yeah, so far so good. As far as the Squad Talk FPL League, I swear to God I was ahead of Johnny for like this whole week. I don't know how. I'm literally behind him by 1 point. He gets 63 points this week for a total of 131, so I'm just behind him in the rankings. Estev, Poro, Salah, Semenyo captain was wild. When I saw that, I had to check his team during the weekend, and I was like, what are you doing captaining Antoine Semenyo? But hey, it worked. Wasn't the best player on his team, but it worked. Up front, Ekitike and Joao Pedro, both obviously very strong options. Pedro, man, like, I guess this is a good transition into like transfer thoughts, because I do feel like I need to do something. Ekitike, a great option as well. A lot of people talking about if Isak doesn't actually come in, he's really looking good for Liverpool, and I agree with that. Joao Pedro, 15 points. Now, there's two sides to this. One side is like, he's returning. He's obviously a good player. Only the 2 points game week 1, but 15 against West Ham. And again, you look at how we're doing this season, you kind of wonder how much does that really tell you. But listen, you get 15 points, you're going to have people looking at you. A goal and 2 assists. So the big question, obviously, everyone is asking, is about Cole Palmer and his fitness, what he's going to be looking like, when he's going to be coming back. I didn't have a lot of faith in Chelsea overall coming into the season, whether that, again, I swerved Palmer, I swerved Pedro. I don't have any Chelsea assets right now. I'm tempted. I was thinking earlier, going on my walk this morning, wondering if I was going to commit to like a full season, no Chelsea. And I'm not ready to call that right now. But it's tough when you see such a highly selected asset, 56.7%, have such a great week and not have them, right? Like I explained in the first week, if you've got someone that a lot of other players have performing very well, that's going to hurt your rank really hard, because a lot of people are benefiting from that points haul and you're not. So the other hand of that was, again, Paquetá, so low selection that like almost no one else got the 9 points from him that I got. And I know a lot of other people are on Watkins as well, even Jared Bowen, and Florian Wirtz has not returned yet for Liverpool. People getting shaky on him. Again, he was new to the league, so I didn't feel good about bringing him in. I say all this to say, like, I don't want to like Joao Pedro, and I don't want Joao Pedro because he's a Chelsea asset and because he's been shaky, flaky in past season, playing for Brighton. You never knew when he was going to start, how things were going to go, and I'm worried that that's going to come up again with Chelsea. So like it's a tough one to swallow. It's a tough one to take. It is still a green arrow for me, going up in rank despite missing out on this Joao Pedro haul. But at the same, now he's 7.6, so I guess I can't really do this. When he was 7.5, I still have my $500,000 in the bank. So Evan Nilsson up to Joao Pedro was possible at this point. Again, he might even be due for a second price rise. I don't even know. But it's tough. It's tough to sit back and watch him perform well and know that he'll probably still be nailed on for minutes while Palmer is out for however long he's out. Johnny's even got him on his bench here, so let's see what they might have to. Yeah, it just says groin injury, 75% chance of playing. I feel like I've heard that it might be a little longer than that. Saka obviously getting hurt for Arsenal as well. We know now that's going to be longer, so something to keep in mind. So the big thought that I'm having this week in terms of transfers is revolving around my bench. So right now my bench options, again, Tuan Zebe, Lewis Miley, and Mark Guiu, and defense, midfield, and attack, respectively, with Dubravka, my bench keeper. Now, Dubravka I feel fine about. I think, he's starting for Burnley again. Bullshit defensive football, so like he'll do fine, and they're going to have a lot of shots coming their way too. So again, 6 points this week, obviously against Sunderland. Obviously, I'm not going to start him over Pickford when Pickford has the flaccid Wolves attack going up against him, so I'm not worried about starting Jordan Pickford for that. I am worried about the fact that I have no bench options right now. Like Mark Yu, maybe he's starting to rev up towards more minutes. Tuanzebe isn't playing at all. That's 2 weeks. He's not. And obviously, again, your third bench option isn't really someone that you want to worry too much about in the FPL world. They're just kind of there because you need someone there. But I would like to have at least one playing option on my bench. Now, Mark Yu at 4.5, I can't really upgrade. There's no 5 million playing strikers from what I'm aware of. Go to forwards under, price rise is now 5 million. Mecha for Leeds is like a come on late and grab a point. I don't really feel good about that consistency. I can even sort by minutes played here on the FPL website. So Lyle Foster for Burnley, 2 starts, 2 points each so far. You know what I mean? And again, some of the Man U away, Liverpool at home, Nottingham Forest at home in the next 3 weeks. He's not someone I'm really looking at to return. So Mark Yu, what I'm trying to say is I don't really have a way to upgrade him into like a better playing player. If we look at midfielders, try to bump Lewis Miley up to somebody interesting. Josh Cullen, Dewsbury Hall could be interesting, and Garner from Everton could be interesting. I don't really know if I want to triple up on Everton assets, but I guess those are the guys I would have to look at. Cullen, again, he scored, but don't chase last week's points. It's something a lot of FPL managers, a lot of people will tell you. He's not going to be returning on a regular basis. A goal and an assist against a Sunderland team that is already looking shaky in the Premier League is not going to be. And I say that because they beat a West Ham team that's definitely looking shaky in the Premier League. So that's not something I'm going to be chasing after. Dewsbury Hall and Garner for Everton, those are interesting. 5 million. I don't know if either of them are due for a price rise. And I didn't look this up ahead of time. This is literally me just in real time looking this up. Cullen and Garner also leading that 5 million price bracket in points. Sorry, wiping my nose. Hope that didn't sound nasty. So if I am going to bump up Lewis Miley, my best option is probably an Everton midfielder. And again, how you feel about that is how you feel about that. The reason I look at Tuanzebe is because defenders are just going to be your best price bracket for like 5 million or so. Dan Ballard, I can't believe anyone thought transferring him in was a good idea, and obviously he makes it 8 minutes in game week 2 before being taken out with injury because it was written in the stars, so that's always fun to watch. Yeah, so if I'm going to try to upgrade any position, it's going to have to be defender. Oh, I can't even afford 5 million. What am I looking at? 4.5. So Tuanzebe's 4.0 up to 4.5. Yeah, so but that's going to have the most options. If any, Mark Yu up is not going to have any options. Lewis Miley up, maybe 1 or 2, but Tuanzebe up is going to be the best option. I hope he doesn't take any price falls. Again, he was so lowly selected to start the season that I doubt there's enough people transferring him to make any impact on his price. The big thought that I'm having is Mickey van de Ven for Spurs. Again, 2 clean sheets. Obviously, I don't expect that to continue. Bournemouth at home this weekend, I certainly think, obviously, if City couldn't break the clean sheet, then why do you think Bournemouth could? But I think they have a chance to do it. Obviously, they can score. They've shown that they've scored against Liverpool already this year, although, again, that isn't proving very hard to do. And I just don't know if I want to triple up on Spurs, especially a double up defensively, because, 1 goal scored, that's your, against Spurs, that's your whole kind of defensive plan wiped out right there. Now, again, obviously, Porro we bring in for attacking returns more than anything defensively, but Van de Ven would be, a defensive. He had that 1 game week a few years ago. I think he was brand new to the league, and he just scores like a goal or 2, goes off for a crazy haul. But he's a defensive asset. We'll have something to compare it to now. The ICT numbers. Where is he at? Yeah, very low on the creative, 0.7 and 1.0 in his first 2 matches. Very low threat level. So I think he looks good at 4.5. Senesi I already have. People talk about Matty Cash. I guess he's creating transfers for Aston Villa, which is always interesting. Any sort of wide defender that likes to get forward, likes to bring the ball up or send the ball up the field is always going to be interesting. Lenny Yoro is someone that I glanced at. Obviously coming up against Burnley, but then City The week after is going to be a little tough. But again, the idea is to have one more, a player who can be swapped in and out because he's playing. You know what I mean? Like having a playing bench option. So whoever I bring in, they start some weeks, they sit some weeks. Even Joe Rodon for the Joe Rodon experience for Leeds. But like, even no matter how attacking he might be, I've heard people say good things about him. Like the fact that Leeds are going to ship as many goals as they do is just like concerning. Again, you saw Diouf got an attacking return for West Ham in defense, but gave up so many goals that like it was still only a 3 at the end of the day. So I'm going to be looking. I haven't made up my mind yet on any sort of transfers, but that trying to upgrade Tuanzebe, if I make a transfer, that's the one I'm thinking of making this week. There is always the chance that I just roll one and go into the international break and the end of the transfer window just like with the arms wide open, you know what I mean? And like see what happens, see what I can get, see who looks good and who ends up where. I don't know if Lewis Miley, I mean, again, the fact that Anthony Gordon is going to be sitting out for a few weeks with that red card, which I'll get to in a second, means that he could be, even getting some starting minutes and coming up against Leeds and Wolves in the next 2 weeks, and even Bournemouth after that. That could be interesting. So we'll see if he ends up popping up. I plan to have him on my bench coming up here, and that brings us to the bus team for this week. So without any transfers made, we are looking at, again, Pickford and net. Diouf, Tarkowski, Senesi, and Porro at the back line. Pickford as Wolves away for Everton, as well as same Tarkowski for Everton. West Ham facing Nottingham Forest away for Diouf, and then Paquetá in midfield. Senesi and Bournemouth travel to face Tottenham Hotspur, which means that Porro and Spurs are hosting Bournemouth. Again, the midfield there, it's going to be Paquetá with Forest away. Kudus with Bournemouth at home. Bruno Fernandes, don't know why my brain just stopped. With Burnley at home, he's my vice-captain for the week for Manchester United. Mo Salah, Arsenal at home, you play him, you start him, but I wouldn't captain him this week. We'll see what happens. Again, he's found ways to return in the first 2 game weeks. We'll see what he can do against a more stout Arsenal defense. Again, I do expect Liverpool to ship 1 or 2 against Arsenal for sure, and Gyökeres definitely looks interesting. If I had a way to him, he's starting to catch my... I mean, you score 2 goals now, it's going to get interesting. It's going to get tasty. So still hurts that I don't have any Arsenal assets in my team, but I guess that's something to look at when it comes time for a wild card or a free hit. Up front, it is Haaland, captain again, 3 for 3 so far on giving Haaland the captain's armband. He's got Brighton away on the South Coast, and then Evan Nilsson for Tottenham away, against Tottenham away, I should say, for Bournemouth. Again, it's going to be a tough fixture. They've shown themselves to be stout defensively. You just kind of have to take what you got. He's 2 for 2 on blanks so far this year, and we're just kind of hoping that it improves soon. Bench, again, Dubravka, Manu away. Wouldn't even dream of starting him, but happy to have him as a bench option. I'm going to move Lewis Miley to my first bench spot, just kind of talking myself into that there against Leeds away, and the fact that he might be seeing some minutes. Maybe if there's any sort of strong indication, I might start Miley over Senesi. He's really the one that I'm most worried about starting this week. Obviously, I would never want to transfer him out, given how he's doing so far. 2 for 2 on defensive contribution points. Same as Tarkowski so far. So I want him in my team. Brighton and then Newcastle after Tottenham are both better looking fixtures. Newcastle, again, see what they can get as far as signings. But right now, they just kind of feel incapable of scoring goals. I say that, of course, they scored 2 down a man. Don't at me. So that's Lewis Miley, my first bench option. Mark Hughes, second. Sunderland away, hosting Brentford, I should say. And then Tuanzebe, my last bench option. And if I can get him up to someone who plays, then I'll feel a little better about that bench. Now, I mentioned right at the top of the show here that I also joined the draft league. I'm gonna be right up front with you guys. So it's me and Johnny. You guys are all very well aware of Johnny Havens at this point, winning 2 for 2 top of the Squad Talk FPL league. As much as it pains me to say it, he is also in this league. It's a 12-man league total, so the 2 of us, and then 10 other people that I don't know. I'm not even going to front you guys. Like, I can't explain to you how I met these people. Johnny, we even texted about it this week. We don't know how we know these people. They were like some friends of friends, again, from the church that we both used to go to. I don't know if any of them are like part of that church or how. I don't know. This is the league now. We've been doing this for years. I sat out a year. After I got my MLS job. But again, having left that, I've aptly named my returning team I Quit Work for this. Very happy, very proud of that. And it was a great first week. So the back line, and again, Johnny kind of called me out for this, but the back line is like identical. I have Pickford in goal, Porro, Tarkowski, Senesi, and Diouf. The only difference is I've also got Newcastle's Dan Burn, who I benched for this first week instead of Tuanzebe. So my defensive draft is the same as my classic defensive lineup there. Midfield, it looked great last Wednesday, guys, but right now Saka, Reinders, Gordon, and Dango is a little shaky with McAllister getting a bench option for not having played. I'm going to be honest, I didn't realize Alexis McAllister had an injury risk when I drafted him, but we'll see how that goes going forward. But yeah, Bukayo Saka, 6 points, love to see it, off with an injury. I'm here in 3 to 4 weeks. That sucks. Anthony Gordon, hey, he's leading the line for Newcastle. If anyone's going to score the goals, he is, right? Red carded, suspended 3 game weeks. Tijani Reinders, it's always going to be a roller coaster. I told you how you shouldn't take the bait last week, and then I took the bait myself, so that's on me, but I think he'll have a good season. Ouattara Dango in his debut for Brentford, I feel phenomenal about that. I honestly feel like he might be a bit overlooked. Just in general, I think he's going to be a very interesting midfield option and someone I'm going to keep my eyes on. Just because Brentford, need someone to deliver for them. But yeah, 13 points off of a goal, a clean sheet, and the 3 bonus for Dango in his debut. My front line is hot garbage. Piru for Leeds, Mark Yu for Sunderland, and then I took a punt on Awoni thinking he might, I don't know if he's injured right now, but Taiwo Awoni for Nottingham Forest, hoping that he might get some minutes if and when Chris Wood, either, the end of games or whatever. But so he's my third option. So 61 points, leading the league after 1 week. It's head-to-head format instead of the just overall points that you get in FPL Classic. So I actually faced Johnny in the first week, and he did the best of the losers, which is funny, 51 points, which would have beat everyone else in the league. So that's a good win to take. That's a great W to take. But yeah, 51 points, very good team for him. Tavernier, Sarr, Gakpo, Delict all returning for him. Chalaba on the bench as well, which must have hurt. That's what that would have got him up to 59, so not quite enough to overthrow me, but definitely a dangerous looking team. As far as this coming week goes, it's probably going to be a similar lineup. Again, Saka. Well, no, it's not, because Saka and Gordon both have to be benched, and so I don't know if I'm going to try to get one or both of those traded. I hate to have to think in those terms, but like 3 dead weeks from each of them is tough to swallow. Obviously, they're going to do well when they get back, but we'll see how it goes. No huge transfer plans right now, so it's looking like Pickford at the back, 5 at the back in front of him, Porro, Tarkowski, Senesi, Diouf, and Burn all just kind of have to start because I only have 11 playing players. Reinders, McAllister, and Dango in the midfield with Piu and Mark Yu, both lucky to get 2 points, maybe between them if the gods are smiling on me. And I am going up against, drumroll please, Colin and his Hail End Heroes. 49 points in the first week. Timber, listen, don't believe the hype if you're playing FPL Classic. Like, if you had him, you're lucky. I know a lot of people on Twitter were getting mad, like, oh my god, look at these bots that triple captain Timber. Dude, idiots are going to play FPL, and they're going to make stupid decisions, and some of those are going to pay off. I don't think it's anything to worry about over 38 game weeks. We're all in this for the long haul, so I'm not too worried about that. So Kluivert, honestly, is probably someone I'm more worried about than Timber, Szoboszlai, and Tielemans, Gabriel. So it's a good looking team for Colin. So we'll have to see how that goes. Trafford, who knows if he starts again? But he's got Ederson on the bench. He went for the double, the City goalkeeper rotation, and honestly, that's probably a pretty smart move. So we will see how that all goes. I think that's going to just about do it. I feel like I'm speedrunning this episode, but my OBS is telling me I'm already over half an hour in, so that's pretty good. No real lesson for you guys this week. We'll see if we keep that going or not. I'm happy to just kind of talk to you guys about my team, talk a little bit about life. Hope life's going well for you guys. I did not get the sound levels good last week. It was a very quiet episode, so I'm trying to speak up a little bit better, but I'm going to try to make sure in the editing that I'm actually making the episodes audible as well. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, for listening. Again, make sure you're subscribed on YouTube if you want to watch. Follow on the audio platforms if you prefer an audio experience. If you're on the go, don't text and drive, kids. Until next time, get out there, win your week, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care.